Howdy, howdy, everyone. Today we are going to add some shrubs to our scene. In order to do that, we're going to come right back into our vegetation file here where we made our grass last time, and we're going to make a couple shrubs. We're going to make just a plain leaf that we're going to reuse a couple of times. We'll also reuse it for some bushes later. And yeah, we need some variety in our scene, and so that's what we're going to be making. So let's jump right into it. Let's start by hiding our grass here. And we're going to want to make sure and add a plane. We will call this plane leaf, since that's what we're making. Actually, we'll call it leaf backup. Since this will be our backup leaf, we will move it up into our backup scene. And we will make sure we add a material to it. Last time we were dealing with the alpha material over here, so if we actually come down here and switch this over to the material we're going to be using, we'll want to zoom in on it a little bit here because it's a bit smaller. So whoa, there we go. So when we go to map it, we will have that already. So let's go right in here. Let's give it a couple loop cuts. I think 3 is good. And then let's just start scaling some sides here. Scale that one to 0. We'll scale that one down a little bit. That one down a little bit, not quite as much as the others. And then we will make the back of our leaf here. And then if we go to vertex select mode, go to wireframe so we can select both the vertices since there's 2 there. And if we just extend that out a little bit, and then I think we want to add a loop cut down the middle so we kind of make that the stem going down the middle of the leaf like this. We go back to edge select mode here. We can bevel this. We do 3 bevels. We can go kind of like that. I think that's good. And then if we just grab the centerpiece here, if I can grab it, there we go. And we'll just move it down. We kind of want to go more than we normally would because we're going to exaggerate it so when we print it or render it later, it shows up. So now if we grab this vertex, we'll want to go to snapping mode and make it meet back up right there. And now our leaf is kind of flat, so if we grab the middle here and turn off snapping and turn on proportional editing, go to the side view, we can kind of curve this leaf up. There we go. Now if we go to the rendered mode, you can see we still have it on all sorts of colors at the moment. So if we come over here and scale to 0, turn off proportional editing here. Let's drop it down to a good leaf color. Go to the rendered mode. We actually need a light to be able to see it. There we go. I think we might need to scale that down just a little bit there. Let's come in here and add a subdivision surface modifier. Let's shade it smooth and maybe bump that up to 2. There we go. I think 2 is good. And then before we do anything else, we need to line this edge up with the origin of the world here. So if we just move it along the x-axis, I think that's close enough. So then if we come here to our object and set the origin to the 3D cursor just in case it got moved, we now have the first piece of our shrubs, and we will be reusing this a whole bunch. So yeah, we will just leave it there for now before we move it into our camera part of the scene. So let's actually just duplicate that, and we will call this shrub 2-leaf. Back up, and we're going to use that to make a 2-leafed shrub. So then if we just duplicate that one more time and rotate it on the z-axis by 80 degrees. We can then grab these two and Control J to join them up. And now we have both a leaf and a two-leaf shrub. So let's hide that. Let's grab our two-leaf shrub. Now we're going to make kind of like a six-leafed triangular shrub. And we're going to have multiple sizes of this leaf. So to do that, let's duplicate this. Let's call this shrub six-leaf. And then if we just duplicate that again and rotate it on the z-axis by 120 degrees, we do 120 because a circle is 360 degrees. So to do thirds of that, it's 120. And we will just do that one more time, rotate it on the z-axis by 120 degrees. There we go. Now if we just grab all three of these and duplicate them one more time, let's scale those down quite a bit here. And we want to rotate them by 60 degrees to make them the counter angle to all of these. So if we just do 60, we now have those all lined up well. We'll actually want to bring these up so we get a good outline on them with the shrub below so they don't just blend in. Right? You might over-exaggerate it a little bit here just so we can see it better when we are done. So now if we grab all of those and join them up, we now have a really good shrub. We might need to tab in and lower that or raise it depending on how it looks in our view of the camera. So let's grab our camera and we need to now move all of these shrubs into view with the grass down here. There it is. Forgot where it was. So let's go to the top view. Let's go into our camera. Let's actually grab our leaf here. Let's do it first. Rotate it on the z-axis by, what was that? 90? No. Minus 90. Oh. There we go. And if we move it down in, let's come back in here. Let's place that one there. Let's grab our two-leaf shrub, move it down, rotate it with Z on 90 degrees. Want to scale it down a little bit bigger than that. And then we will grab the three-leaf one here. I believe if we move this by 30 degrees, it will give us the triangle we want instead of being off kilter to the image here. So if we rotate that by 30 degrees, that will line us up correctly, and then we can move it down. And there we go. That'll allow us to fit 4 things onto this image. And that'll work quite well. Actually, let's go back here. Let's realign the origin to the geometry. It looked a little off there. Actually, if we leave plenty of room here, we hopefully won't have some of the issues where the image will break up when we're trying to add all of our vertices. And it looks like we did well with the little mini shrub there, so that way it's still showing up with a good outline. And our leaves look good. We got some good brightness on. We actually might move these down just a little bit. So if we come in here, move them down, we get a little bit darker. We can scale them back up while they're down there. And that will make them show up just a little bit better, be able to see that groove a little more. We might do the same with the bigger shrub. There we go. I think I like that. I like the darker color a little bit more. And with that, if we turn the rendering on for that one, turn the rendering off for that, I believe we can render this out. There we go. We now can see all of these things. It looks like we have a little bit of shading being screwed up there, so we actually might need to rotate this ever so slightly. So let's come down here and grab this and rotate it on the y-axis ever so slightly. That might be a little too much. There we go. Let's try rendering that again. We still have a little bit there. So if we try this just one more time. And let's rotate, or let's render that. That's looking a little better. We still have a little bit of artifacting there, but I don't think it will matter too much in our game because these are going to be pretty small and you won't be able to see them. So we will go with that. So what we do here is we come in and we save this image over the top of our vegetation image. So that way we keep our grass over there and save. There we go. Now we have made 3 different variations of our little shrub. We can use this one to create different variations on the fly as we see fit, and we can use a little 2 shrub variation as well as the little triangular 6 shape here. Now we are going to go in and actually make cut these out of a plane so we have a usable object that we can throw in a collection and move over to our scene. So let's go and start that up right now. To do that, let's add ourselves a plane. Let's make sure we add the vegetation image to it, and you can see we have all of them showing up right here. Let's turn off our light temporarily so we can see it a little better. If we come in here and press K, we can start cutting these out. Let's start with the big one here. So if we kind of line these up on all of the points, around the edge here, and then press enter, and if we press M to merge by distance, oh, it didn't remove one. I thought we would have duplicates there, but if we come in and start filling in these different triangles, oops, we do not want that one, and then grab the middle one and fill it, oh, there we go, fill that in. Grab those 3, and then we can separate it out into its own selection. If we then hide that plane there and tab into this one, we can do a little bit more work here. We can kind of slide these in to make them line up where we want them to. I'm trying to line them up with the edge of the leaf as good as I can here. I'm just using GG to slide them along the lines. And I think that's about where I want it. And then to be able to bend these leaves a little bit more, I'm actually going to inset the middle here, so we can bend the center of the leaf down. So if we actually just come out to the side view here, let's bend that down quite a bit, and then go to the vertex select mode, grab those, and come back out to the side view, and we want to bend those down as well. Now we'll want to line this up in the center here. About like that. And I believe if we actually just come out and set the origin to the geometry here, we can then just move the location to 0 to line it up the way we want. And that will be our first shrub. Now let's move on to the second shrub down here. We'll grab the 2-leaf one. So if we come over, we'll actually probably just want to delete this plane. We'll want to add in another one. Oh, actually, before we do that, let's grab this and call it the shrub 6-leaf and move it into its own collection here. There we go. And then we can hide that away. We can grab, no, we want to then add another plane here. Make sure it has the correct material. And we will just repeat what we did on this one for these next two. And I'll just speed up that process since you know how to do it now. Right, and with that, we now have the 3 different shrubs slash leaf here for us to take over to our game. So you can see we got the kind of like a tri-brush or tri-shrub here. We have the dual shrub here, and we have the singular leaf. Now, before we move back over, we want to, or move over to the game scene, we want to make sure we make all these visible, otherwise they won't necessarily show up over in the other, in the simple game scene when we link them all up. So let's save and go over to our simple game scene. Now here in the simple game scene, the first thing we're going to do is fix something that was brought to my attention with the grass that we added last time, and that was that all of them are all facing the same direction. So we're going to add some randomness to that. So if we come in here to the particles section and click advanced and go to velocity, we can come down to the randomize and move that ever so slightly, and that will randomize our grass for us. So if we go into the rendered mode here, you can see it there now. All right, now we want to link in our new vegetation. So if we go grab those 3 new ones there and link them in, they should show up. Let's just bring them up so we can see them here. So all I'm really going to do with these is grab them and duplicate them and move them around into the scene in places that I think look good. They should already be set up. So it's really just a matter of taking the time to place them and rotate them to your heart's content to add some substance to the scene. So I'm gonna speed this up as I place a whole bunch of these down. All right, and with that, we have added a little bit more life to our game. In the next episode, we're going to add a little bridge to cross here, and then we will continue on adding some more vegetation. I'm thinking some bigger bushes to go along with our shrubs, as well as some trees to kind of line the edges here, so that way we hide our area, our little secret grotto area back here a little better. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe. If you have ideas for me to add to this little scene, please put them in the comments. And with that, you guys have a wonderful day.